first one is by u/witsend1004, and it is titled, "Am I the arsehole for enforcing my restaurant's bathroom policy when a mother threatened to have her 4-year-old son relieve himself on the street?" Today, between 2 and 4 p.m, a woman in her 40s entered my small family-run restaurant with her 4-year-old son. She asked us to use the restroom without making a purchase, and I explained that our policy is to reserve the bathroom for paying customers. I suggested that she either make a small purchase or use the Dunkin' Donuts a block away. She then reframed her request, saying the bathroom was for his son and emphasized that he was only 4, implying I should make an exception. I stuck to the policy and reiterated the alternatives. That's when she said, "Fine, we'll do outside." I wasn't sure what she meant until I saw her actually begin to undress her son outside the entrance of the restaurant, preparing to have him relieve himself right there on the street. The son would have been facing me through the glass door and windows. I quickly stopped her and told her to just use the restroom. As they were coming in, she said, I wouldn't have to if you just let us go in the beginning." I responded, "Don't weaponize your son." She paused, but then said I wouldn't understand because I don't have children, and made it clear she felt justified. She seemed frustrated, and I even imagine she saw this as a way to make a point about needing access to a bathroom for her child. Eventually, I let them use the bathroom. Not for her sake, but because I felt terrible for her son. Once they were in, though, she didn't even close the door, leaving it wide open. I had to close the door myself to give him some privacy. Which really disturbed me. I understand that parents sometimes feel desperate, and maybe she thought I was being unnecessarily strict, but I felt her actions were extreme and inappropriate, especially involving a young son like that. I didn't back down from our policy because I believed it was right for the business, and I only let them use the restroom to protect the child's dignity. Afterwards, as they were leaving, she gave me a smug look and said, "Your mother would have done the same," as if she'd won something. I responded, "My mum would have paid, but I want to amend that. My mum would never have humiliated me in public like that to get me a pass to the bathroom, period. I don't matter to her, and I shouldn't, but her son does very much, I think. I can't imagine how a mother, despite not being one myself, could prioritize sending a message or winning an argument against a stranger over the dignity of her own child." Now that it's over, I'm wondering, was I wrong to hold the line, even though I eventually let them in? Should I have called the police or escalated the situation somehow, even though it could have traumatized the boy? I've never dealt with a child being in this kind of awkward position, and I was trying to be the responsible adult, but I'm still shocked. Am I the asshole? Okay, so I am gonna say that both people are kind of the asshole here. In the beginning, I think it was the OP, the server or the shop owner, whichever they were. Because I'm sorry, I understand that you have a policy, but not even if it's only a little purchase, not everyone yeah, so at the start of that, I think they were definitely the arsehole for denying the bathroom to the young boy. Because, I'm sorry, but 4-year-olds don't really have brilliant, like, bladder and bowel control, so they might not have made it to the Duncans. But, you know, I think the mother was the worst arsehole in this situation, because it definitely does seem like she was just, like the OP said, more trying to prove a point than actually find her child somewhere to relieve himself, because she was going to do it basically right up against the store window front where the workers and anyone else inside could see, and nobody wants to see that. And, you know, the child shouldn't be exposed to people like that in public. That's horrible for the child. It's horrible for everyone involved. No one wants to see a child be purposefully exposed by his parent. That's really, really wrong and, like, quite sick in my opinion. If it really was just about finding the young boy somewhere to relieve himself, she would have at least, you know, found like a little alley or had him up against a wall where he couldn't be seen. But no, she just wanted to make a statement, which is, it is weaponized naked, like the OP said, which is terrible, and then, not shutting the bathroom door to give the little guy some privacy. Bizarre behaviour, that mother needs looking into, honestly. I know it's the thing of, people shouldn't be looking into the bathroom, and if you're staring, you're a weirdo. Nobody's going to be staring, that's not the point. The point is, despite being so young, children can feel and think for themselves. The child quite possibly was not okay with that and didn't feel comfortable. And, you know, young people need to be protected. They shouldn't be exposed, because, you know, there are weirdos around, and we need to do our best as adults to protect children from, you know, any uncomfortable situations or potential dangers that may be. So, yeah, both people are the asshole there, but definitely the mother more, because once the OP realised how unreasonable the mother was being, they did let the child into the bathroom and close the door for them. Okay, let's find another story. Okay, this one is by you/yo_SUW, and it is titled, "Am I the asshole for refusing to give up my college fund to help my parent with their debt?" I just started college this year. Ever since I was little, my grandparents set up a college fund for me, and it's the only reason I can afford school without taking on massive debt. My parents always knew about it, and it was always meant for my education. Recently, my parents have been struggling financially due to bad investments and overspending. They sat me down and asked me to use my college fund to help them pay off their debts. They They said that since they raised me, it's only fair that I help them now that they're struggling. I said no. I told them I was grateful for everything they've done, but this money was specifically for my education, and I wasn't going to throw away my future. They got upset and said I was being selfish and ungrateful. My mum even cried, saying she never thought her own daughter would turn her back on them. Now my parents barely talk to me. I feel horrible, but at the same time, I don't think I should have to sacrifice my future because of their financial mistakes. Am I the arsehole for refusing to give up my college fund? Absolutely not. I'm sorry, but the parents are old enough now where they should be able to be financially responsible with their own money. They're adults. Their problems are their own, essentially, especially when they've got themselves in that bad situation. They put themselves there, they need to get themselves back out. It's the adult world, they've been in it for a long time, they know how it works. I think that because they've always known about the college fund, I just think that they decided to put themselves in financial ruin because they just expected their daughter to pull them out with that money, which is completely unfair and wrong of them to basically decide in their heads that that's what they're going to do with their college fund. It's really, really bad, really, really selfish. And I can't believe that any parent would, even want to take that money from their child. Like, I would rather have to sell my entire house, all my belongings, to put myself back on track than take that money from my children, especially if that debt was my doing. Like, if something bad happened, I can understand, it's a hard time, people chip in, help out, that's lovely if they do, but still, they don't have to. But when you've just got yourself there because you can't stop spending and, you're just being irresponsible, that is up to nobody else to sort out but yourself, and I could not bear taking money off my children for that. Even if they were rich, like, I would feel sick taking that money from them, especially with it being important funds for their education given by their grandparents. So no, absolutely not the arsehole. Okay, this one is by you/ShadowXO8414, and it is titled, Am I the arsehole for throwing a slight tantrum after my mom made me pay for something for my sister? I, 17 female, have been working hard for 3 weeks collecting cans and bottles to sell for money for my grad night trip. Tonight, I finally went with my mom to sell all the bottles, not the cans, I've collected. And for my effort, I got $23 whole just for me. My mom, 53F, also sold the bottles she's collected. This will be important later. After selling my bottles, we went to pick my younger sister, 16F, up from school. She had $20 and wanted to buy the new Hunger Games book that came out just this day, March 18th. So we went to the closest Barnes & Noble, and she got the book Sunrise on the Reaping. It was $30 and she only had $20. I didn't notice and wasn't paying attention. I was busy playing with a cute bunny toy when my mum called my name, and I was so confused. My mum had gotten $26 from the bottles and cans she sold, so she had money and yet asked me to help my sister pay for the book. Now normally I wouldn't mind, but I had spent 3 weeks sister so that she could buy the book. I tried to protest, but she wasn't having it. I was devastated. I didn't want to hand over my money. After a small and short accidental tantrum, eventually we reached an agreement that she would pay me back the money. It still hurt, but whatever, at least I would get my money back. But now she's mad at me for embarrassing her. I understand her, I really do. I am 17 after all, but she isn't considering how embarrassed I was, and isn't considering my feelings. So am I the asshole? No. Absolutely not. I'm sorry, but the mom is the parent. You are not the parent of your sister. If your mom wanted the child to have that book so badly, she can use some of her own money, her adult money, to help her daughter purchase that book. It should never be up to the siblings to step in financially to help, especially when the parent has money. Again, like, how can you take money off your kids, essentially, rather than, help them out? Like, you are the parent. Act like the parent. Act like you love your kids. Do you love your kids? Like, oh my god, please. And it's the thing of, like, this is something the OP has planned out for a while now, and, they've worked hard to get funds for this, like, trip that she wants to take. Even, battling her own social anxiety, which is tough. It's really, really tough. I know that. But then they're expected to just give up their money. I know at the end they agreed it would be paid back, but she might not be able to pay it back in the time frame that she needs. Like, it shouldn't be up to her to bridge this gap of funds that she doesn't have. Because why does the OP have to work towards what they want? She's been doing this for weeks, but their sister should essentially have what she wants handed to her. I know she spends some of her own money, but it should be the case of, if she doesn't have the money to spare, if she doesn't have the full amount, she's gonna have to come back in a week or two and purchase it when she does. That makes sense, right? She's gonna have to wait until she does have the money. It's not going anywhere. It's a new book, Even if it's not in that Barnes and Noble, it'll be somewhere, especially online. Especially with it being, the Hunger Games, it's a big series. So I think that it feels very much like the younger sister kind of just gets what she wants, while the older one has to play parent because mummy doesn't want to do that. And I hate that behaviour from parents. Parents that don't want to parent just piss me off so much. They piss me off. Like, don't have kids if you don't want to be a parent. Okay, let's do another one. Rasmatas-5136. And the title is Am I the Arsehole for Not Co-Signing on a Loan with My Sister? I, 25 female, and my sister, 21 female, live separately. She just contacted me today asking if I would co-sign with her to get a car. She was at a dealership and 2 of her other options for co-signers were denied. For context, she got a 50k settlement a few years ago when her grandmother died and gave me 10k out of it. She bought a Dodge Charger, which is now undrivable, that she plans on using to trade in along with $4,000. She still needs a co-signer because her credit isn't the greatest. I've been working on my credit score for the past 3 years and have 2 children who I hope to get a house for within the next few years. Due to this, I was skeptical and asked her to go through a bank loan instead, similar to mine, that automatically takes payments out every 2 weeks and has a lower interest rate. I still owe 19k on my GMC. I've never missed a payment the past year and a half. But otherwise my credit score is in fair standing and I'm about to make the leap into good standing. She refused to do so and told me I was selfish and that this was her only option. So she didn't understand why I wouldn't just co-sign. I'm telling her it's because I don't want to be financially liable for another 20k loan when I'm so close to being approved for a home because it may affect that. She got a stranger to co-sign for her for $100 and said, I quote, I personally think you prey on my downfall and your relationship has made you turn into a different person. From here on out, you can text me off a fake number and I don't want to be in contact with you anymore for my peace. A stranger co-signed for me shows a lot. So now I ask you, Redditors, am I the asshole? How do I rectify this? I don't want this to affect our relationship, but I don't think my perspective is being thought about. Oh my god, this one is crazy to me. My hair is very static at the minute. It's been really static the past couple of weeks actually, I don't know why. No, not the arsehole. You know, you have a family and your main priority is looking after that family. And your main priority is looking after that family, which is good. That's what you should be doing. You know, your kids should always come first. Your kids and yourself. The fact that she is just not getting that just shows immaturity on her part and that she has a lot of growing up to do. Because I'm sorry, but I would never ever expect anybody to put me before their own children and their own stability. You know, the OP has been working off her debt, you know, she's been trying to pay it off to have a clean slate and, you know, apply for a house with her children, and to want to get in the way of that for your own, you know, kind of selfish needs, to be honest, is ridiculous. Because I'm sorry, but yeah, I guess it's nice to have a nice car, but you got 50k. There are plenty of cars you can get for that amount of money. Especially since I think she's trading the car in with the other one, so I think she spent 50k actually on that car, so you know, there's plenty of cars she can probably get for that. But she is just obviously wanting something more flashy or whatever, and that's why it's gonna cost her a bit. But you know, if I was her, I'd just, you know, cash it in for something that I won't have to pay for. said, it's nice to have a nice car, but it's not priority, especially when your sister is trying to get herself together, you know, her finances together for her children's sake. And even if her sister was a millionaire with no kids and no like financial dependence, I think it's a very entitled thing, regardless, to basically just expect her to go stand for you. There's loads of things can go wrong, and also it's just learn to take no for an answer. Not everyone is gonna say yes to your demands or your requests. Not everyone is gonna say yes to your demands or your requests, and that's okay. They are well within their right to say no, and it's okay if you feel like that's unfair, but they have the right to say no, and that's something that you need to understand, at least in my opinion. You know, it would be nice if she was a millionaire and she helped her out, but she's still not entitled to. She's not. Okay. That is gonna be the last video for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I do hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you had any difference of opinions in the comments. It would be interesting to read, you know, different perspectives on these situations and whatnot. But again, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up